What is going on, FA Nation? Jonathan here, bringing you your NFL DFS Week 13 preview show. Listen, it's Week 13. It's Thanksgiving week. A lot of holidays going on, schedules and families and travel. So we didn't have the usual DFS playbook preview show with myself and Howard Bender this week, but I couldn't go without giving you guys a quick breakdown of what to expect and what we're looking for this week over on the DraftKings main slate. I'm going to kind of liken this to the old Chris Berman fastest 3 minutes. Well, we may be a little bit longer than 3 minutes here, but I'm going to go position by position. I'm going to break it down as best as I can for you guys to let you know where I am looking to go. Of course, I do have the fantasy football playbook out and the dartboard live for everybody. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, right now is the best time to sign up. We got our Black Friday deal still going on. Of course, that ends Sunday, so don't miss out. Save $100 on the All Pro subscription package when you go to fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday. Use promo code BF24. That comes out to less than $16 a month for all sports, all benefits, all tools, all projections, draft guides, cheat sheets, Discord access, you name it. If it's over on Fantasy Alarm, you get it there for less than $16 a month with the annual subscription. So scan that QR code, fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday. Promo code BF24. That sale ends today. Don't miss out. Again, we got 10 games here on the DraftKings main slate. Some really juicy matchups that we're going to be looking to take advantage of here. We go position by position. We'll start off at the quarterback spot. Your top two price QBs, you got Jackson and Hurts, $8K and $7,700. Picking between the two, I'd prefer Jalen Hurts in this matchup. We know Baltimore's pass defense has struggled. We know Jalen Hurts is an elite rusher when they get in the red zone with that touchdown upside. So give me Hurts over Jackson this week if you're looking to spend up. In the mid-tier, Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud are two obvious choices here. Mayfield had a good week last week against the Giants, but it was the running backs that found the end zone. Could very well be the same situation this week. Carolina, a very bad run defense, but also struggles against the pass. We're liking Mayfield as a contrarian pick this week because CJ Stroud is getting ownership love. Jacksonville, the most fantasy points allowed to the quarterback position here this week. You got Nico Collins, you got Tank Dell, even Joe Mixon can make plays in the passing attack. If not now, then when with CJ Stroud? We said this back, I think it was in week 4 when they played against each other here. And Stroud came through 345 yards and 2 scores, his best performance to date this year. Gonna go see if he can go out there and repeat that here in this matchup. Going down a little bit further, I did the quarterback coach. I actually wrote up Matthew Stafford as my favorite price per dollar play. The Saints pass defense, not very good. They traded Marshawn Lattimore, and Matthew Stafford really starting to come on strong over the last couple of weeks against the Eagles and Patriots. 6 total touchdowns, a healthy Puka Nacua, a healthy Cooper Kupp, helping him do the damage. Big fan of Matthew Stafford this week. If you're looking down in the value tier, believe it or not, Justin Herbert, one of the more popular plays against Atlanta. But all the way down at $4,600, I'm interested in some Bryce Young here. Last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, kind of held his own, 16.5 fantasy points. At $4,600, $4,700, if we get this same type of performance for Bryce Young against a much worse defense than Kansas City and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you could certainly pay off your value. At the running back position, you got Barkley, you got Mixon, Henry, and Kamara. Alvin Kamara is currently the highest rostered running back according to our projections. We'll see if that updates as we get closer to roster lock. Volume and usage monster. And of course, everybody just saw what Saquon Barkley did last week against the Rams, looking to go back to Kamara and see if he can replicate that type of production we saw against Carolina. 29 for 155, 6 for 60 through the air for 30 fantasy points. Will be interesting to see because they did come out and say they want to use Taysom Hill more, but Kamara at $7,700 getting the love. I actually love Joe Mixon as well. Tough week last week against Tennessee, but we know Jacksonville a poor run defense, a good matchup for Joe Mixon. Saquon Barkley, 255 yards rushing last week. You got to include him in your player pool just in case he goes off. Go down into the mid-tier, some good options. Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, Chase Brown, all in my player pool this week. Brown never comes off the field. Aaron Jones over 20 carries last week, a good spot against Arizona. And Tony Pollard, maybe a sneaky play here. Washington's run defense, not very good. Look at the total carries we've seen in 3 of the last 5 weeks here. 20, 28, and 24 for Tony Pollard. Even with Tajay Spears expected back this week, we know they're going to give Tony Pollard the rock. Going down into the value range here, really love Bucky Irving. He's the cover of the playbook this week, even though they use Rashad White and they still have Sean Tucker. Bucky Irving last week, 12 for 87 and a score, 13 for 73 and a touchdown the week before that. He's going to get his carries, But how about the pass game usage as well? It's not just Rachaad White that gets the passing down work. Loving Irving at $5,800. Rachaad White's $5,300 can go there as well. Watch the news on Breece Hall. Braylon Allen could be a value play at 5K if Hall ends up not suiting up this week with that knee. And then your chalk value here, Gus Bus, no J.K. Dobbins against the Atlanta Falcons, $4,300 should be the lead back. He has not looked good this year, but just from the upside of carries and potential red zone work, Gus Edwards getting some ownership appeal. At the wide receiver position, you want to spend up here. Obviously, the matchup for A.J. Brown against Baltimore, super appealing. I really like Nico Collins, as does the field. And both Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are certainly in my player pool. Again, I think Matthew Stafford, my favorite price per dollar quarterback. So you got to go and lock in his wide receivers. Working our way down a little bit, George Pickens against Cincinnati. Mike Evans coming back last week, looked really good, has a great matchup against Carolina, $6,700. Both of those plays are fine for me. Ladd McConkey, going to be a target monster here against Atlanta. Many people are looking to him. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. I was in on Caleb Williams and DJ Moore last week. Moore, Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams all had big weeks. Marvin Harrison Jr. has not looked great this season, not at least to the expectations we had for him. But this certainly could be a week where he breaks out with Kyler Murray against this Minnesota Vikings pass defense that does struggle. Tank Dell dart throw if you're not playing Nico Collins. Calvin Ridley in cash games make a lot of sense for me. Again, he's going to continue to be targeted a ton. Jordan Addison has looked good opposite of Justin Jefferson these last few weeks. I like Xavier Legette and Adam Thielen for Carolina. If you're looking for some value plays, some dartboard plays, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Noah Brown, Rashad Bateman, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, all in this low 4K range. Touchdown upside for Ikhine, Bateman, and MVS. Noah Brown starting to be a target monster. The Commanders going to be potentially without both their starting running backs. Maybe Brian Robinson's able to suit up, but 10 targets last week for Noah Brown, 7 against Pittsburgh. Now, if they have to throw a little bit more against Tennessee, Brown should be targeted fairly often here. And then your cheap play, David Moore had 10 targets last week, 6 for 81 and a touchdown. No Jalen Coker again. We'll see if David Moore ends up being highly targeted by Bryce Young this week. Again, I like this Carolina passing attack. I think is a sneaky value play against Tampa Bay. At the tight end position, earlier in the week, a lot of people were going to Taysom Hill. That has since flipped. You have McBride and Hawkinson getting a lot of ownership love. Taysom Hill falling down the ownership board. Last time we saw Taysom Hill, though, I mean, listen, he's not your prototypical tight end. He had 8 catches, 10 targets for 50 yards. He had 7 for 138 rushing on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. No tight end in football brings you this upside at 5K. He is in all of my lineups this week. I'll live or die with the Taysom Hill. That's fine. Cade Otton last week kind of got shut down. The Giants have a good defense against opposing tight ends. Tampa Bay does not. So Cade Otton could get back on track here this week, even with Mike Evans back. I do like Hawkinson. I like Hunter Henry here at $4,200. Will Dissly off the injury report. You know, Quentin Johnson's been unreliable, but Will Dissly and Ladd McConkey have really fed that short passing attack. Dissly against the Falcons this week seemed pretty good to me. I like Mark Andrews at $3,900 here as well. And if you want to go down into the value tier, listen, Tommy Tremble's not looked good when given the opportunities to play extended playing time, but there's no Jatavian Sanders. He played 80% of the offensive snaps last week. He ran 50% of his routes. A couple weeks back, we saw him run 80% route participation. So if he's going to get all the snaps at tight end, there's a chance he's going to run a bunch of routes here. And maybe if they get into the red zone, Tommy Tremble can find the end zone. I'll finish it off with our defense picks here. Liking the Houston Texans against Jacksonville. Yes, Trevor Lawrence is back, but they're going to get after the quarterback. Lawrence was not looking good before the injury. Certainly don't mind running out the Houston Texans here. Minnesota Vikings, another team. While they give up some points, they do get after the quarterback. They can't turn the football over. Kyler Murray hasn't looked great. Minnesota does have a good run defense here, so maybe they can get things done at home. I also like the Jets if you're looking to spend down. I know their defense honestly hasn't looked like anything special, but they're coming off of a bye. They're at home. It's not supposed to be great weather. Geno Smith has as many interceptions as he does touchdowns this season, so maybe the Jets can go and get it done against Seattle. If we're looking to put together a lineup, I made a few earlier. We'll just import. Well, I guess we can't just import because I'm not logged in. We'll log in and import another time. We'll give a lineup build that I got together here. Going with Stafford. Running backs, we're going to go with Bucky Irving, Aaron Jones, wide receivers. I'm going to double up and go Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp here. Tight end, I'm going Taysom Hill. Defense, we're going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go David Moore. Again, kind of hard to ignore the 10 targets that he got. Flex, $4,900. Going to give me some Adam Thielen there. So, going to double up again on the Carolina passing offense. Got Bucky Irving, so a little stack there. A little stack with New Orleans and the Rams. I like Minnesota with Aaron Jones in that mid-tier. Getting Stafford with Kupp and Nacua and going with my top defense. So, that's an example lineup for everybody. Again, we're going to go live today at 11 a.m. Eastern time, myself and Andrew Cooper, to get all your start sits going. The playbook is out. The dartboard is out. The example lineups will be live. And again, you can get all of that for the year. And remember, this time next year, Black Friday is happening again. We'll likely have another deal available for you guys. You save $100 on that annual all-pro package. Promo code BF24. That's less than $16 a month. You get NFL DFS, NBA, NHL, PGA, MMA, MLB. You name it, we cover it here for DFS and seasonal. You get all draft guides and cheat sheets, all tools, and premium Discord access. That's fantasyalarm.com/Black Friday. Promo code BF24. Good luck in week 13, everybody. We'll be back with a full show next week, myself and Howard Bender for week 14. Until then, though, we'll catch you later.